Okay, so look, this entire situation is very ridiculous. And I feel like I should explain myself, which I'm going to do. But first, let me give you a little introduction. My name is Kathy, and I have a true crime channel that I call Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo, where every day, every morning I get up. I get up super early in the morning, and I post a video about whatever true crime case we're covering, whatever strikes my fancy. And so we talk true crime, and we talk the most important details, like who wore what, who was being ridiculous, and stuff like that, right? These are very important things to me and to some other people, like 8,000 or so of my closest friends. So look, every morning I get up and I make my little true crime channel, and then I go on with the rest of my day because, child, I am busy. I don't have that much free time. But here's the thing. At a certain point, YouTube was like, you should do like a little members only thing. And I was like, what would I talk to members about? I already told them everything when I was talking to them about true crime. But then people said they wanted memberships. And so I started memberships. And then in the memberships, I just started talking about the rest of my life. Well, here's the thing that you need to understand. I am a suburban mom living over here in North Jersey, right? The godless Northeast. I'm originally from Indiana, like the heartland, wholesome people or whatever. But I haven't lived there in 30 years. So I am thoroughly North Jersey. But not like Real Housewives of New Jersey, North Jersey. Though maybe a little bit. Anyway. But, I go back and forth between New York City all the time. Bottom line, I'm a coastal elite. As you could probably tell when you see me driving in my fancy Toyota Corolla, right? I am also an animal lover. We over here at the house, we have 2 dogs. I have pillows of them. Now, this pillow, this is, who is this? This is Daisy. Daisy is 11 years old. She's a Yorkie poo, and mostly she wants to be left alone. Me and Daisy have a lot in common in that way. Then there's Holly. This is Holly. This is my Holly pillow. Now, Holly is only 3 years old. She was a pandemic puppy, and we love her so much, but she's real loud, and she got a lot to say, and usually she wants to sit on my lap, and you will frequently see her in my videos. So look, over here in North Jersey, child, people are dog people. They're not just like, oh, they like a dog. They love their dogs. Their dogs lick them in the mouth. Not me, because I'm not that lick in the mouth kind of dog owner. But I do love my dogs, and I cook them homemade dog food. And yes, they sleep in the bed. Don't judge me. So anyway, I live over here and I'm minding my business. And on my members only channel, I started talking about the different things that happen in my neighborhood. So recently, an elderly neighbor fell down in her house and she decided to sell a house. Okay, fine. She wanted to go to one level because, everything is built up here, stairs, whatever, because they got us packed in here like sardines. I live in a house, not an apartment. So this neighbor who had been on the block for like 500,000 years moved away, and everybody was sad to see her go. But we all wanted to see who the new neighbors was, because all of us have been here for a long time, child. I bought this house 20 years ago, and there's people on this block who've been here for way longer than me. So we're sort of like a little family. It's a quiet little cul-de-sac over here in the suburbs. You would really need a map and some very goodwill to find us, because we are tucked away and hidden away, and we like it that way. It's maybe like 20 houses on my whole block, and it's just us over here tucked away, right? Well, these new neighbors moved in. So everybody was like, have you met the neighbors? Who are the new neighbors? We had eyes on them. The entire cul-de-sac was looking around like, who are these new people? We want to know who they are. Is it a husband and wife? Is it an elderly couple? Do they have children? What's the whole story? We want to know every single thing. So finally, the new neighbor comes and knocks on my door, and she's like, hi, my name is, she tells me her name, but I'm just going to call her new neighbor because privacy, I need to be proper. I keep my pinkies out. I'm that kind of lady. And so I was like, oh, these are nice people. And then I realized that they had a dog. Oh, I'm a dog person. That's so lovely. Here's the thing, though. The way they keep their dog and the way I keep my dog, there is a world of difference. Now, look, most people on this block have dogs. It's a whole bunch of Yorkie poos, like a disproportionately large number of Yorkies and Yorkie poos and other assorted doodles. So when I see this random dog walking down the street, I was like, wait, this is my lucky day. Child, it is hard to find dogs. Everybody says you should adopt, not shop. But here's the thing. Over in North Jersey, honey, a woman will slit your throat and cut your eyes out trying to get a dog. So you go to these adoption events and people are like over here windmilling on each other trying to get these puppies. And I'm like, oh no, So I adopt. I give them my money and then they let me adopt. From the Amish over in the Poconos, which is only like an hour and a half away. So you want a good dog, you go on the little website, you pick out the dog you want, and you go over there and adopt it for the low price of like $500-$600, and you pick up your dog and you bring it home. That's how we got Holly and Daisy, right? My adopted dogs. So I see a random dog just walking down the street. What you need to understand is that doesn't happen. People keep such tight reins on their dogs. People watch their dogs closer than they watch their children. They like, I could just give birth to some more children, but dogs are super hard to come by. A teeny, adorable little Yorkie, purebred, that's only like maybe 5 or 6 pounds. And I was like, listen, all the stars have lined up. Now, do I need a third dog? Absolutely not. But for my whole life, the whole time I've lived here in the suburbs, I was like, all I wanted was more dogs. For every child that moves out, child, I have 4 sons. One of them is grown and lives in his own life, but we still have 3 boys living at home. My theory is for every son that moves out, I'm just going to get me another dog. Well, I have one that's on the verge of moving out, and I was like, clearly, the good Lord has sent me this dog because this is my reward for being a good mama. So I'm like, okay, I see this little dog walking down the street, and I immediately was like, Spike. I will name him Spike. And so I was like, here, Spike. But I could not capture, rescue, adopt this dog that was walking down my street. And so I stalked, I followed him and kept him safe for a little while. And then finally I realized, wait, this dog belongs to the new neighbors, because he went and he sat on the new neighbor's porch. And after a whole lot of barking, they finally opened the door and let him in. And I was like, they just opened the door and let their dog go outside and roam around the streets? I follow true crime. I know there could be a crime. Somebody could commit a crime on this dog aside from me. I mean, I would not be committing a crime. I would be rescuing, but somebody else might commit a crime associated with this dog, and I definitely did not want that to happen. But I was like, I found this little dog, and I named him Spike, and my husband said, what do you mean you found a dog? I was like, I think he belongs to the new neighbors, but he looks real cute, and I'm going to name him Spike. So a few days go by, and the little kids from next door, the new neighbors, the children of the new neighbors come outside, and they're like, oh, and this little dog, Spike, he's in my yard, he's in my front yard, he's in my backyard, he's playing with my dog. Spike is everywhere. And my husband is like, listen, that dog probably has a name. It's clearly an older dog. If I had to guess, that dog is at least as old as Daisy. So maybe 10, 11 years old. But it's so cute and it's so teeny. Oh, and I just want to like brush him out because he's not well groomed. That dog needs to be groomed desperately. So my husband said, you cannot be kidnapping other people's dogs. And I was like, it is not kidnapping. I am rescuing. And he's like, also, the dog's name is not Spike. And I was like, fine. I will call him Not Spike. So every time I see Not Spike, I think to myself, clearly he wants to come home with me. These people do not care about him, because I'm telling you, no joke, 3 to 4 days a week, I see Not Spike just roaming around up and down the block. And the other dog owners on the block always uniformly panic, like, oh my God, there's a very cute small dog just randomly roaming up the street. The other day, I fed him a little turkey because he looked hungry. And then when he got close to me to eat the turkey, I tried to snap him up. But that Not Spike is real crafty. He dodged and dug and ran away and went back to his owner's house. Those people who keep him indoors sometime, if they really cared about him, he would not be roaming around my front yard and my backyard and playing with my dogs without permission. So I was like, okay. And then the other day, I was talking to my neighbor, and she was like, did you see what happened? And I said, no, girl, what happened? Now, listen, I was on my way to an appointment. I was running late. But if something happened on the block, I need to know. The neighbor who's been, listen, this neighbor across the street, y'all, we're going to call her Nosy Neighbor. She is a founding member of this block. She was born and raised on this block. And while she got grown and got married, She was raised here, and then she bought a house here. So she been here forever, ever. And I'm like, well, she knows everything. She knows everybody. She's a good lady. If you need anything, honey, you want to go to Nosy Neighbor. Now, I don't call her Nosy Neighbor to her face because she is a wonderful woman. She has raised two wonderful boys. They are grown. They have their own families. Listen, they're doing the most. She's living the dream. Her grandkids also live on the block because her son also bought a house on the block. So anyway, she said, I saw the little dog roaming up and down the street. They just let that dog roam. I said, I know. And she said, so I saw the dog roaming around, and I was like, that dog's going to get hit by a car. It's terrible. So I called the police to come and pick up the dog. Well, now listen. She called the police? I need to know. The police have been called on New Neighbor. Child, tell me every single thing. I can make another appointment. I don't know when I'm going to see Nosy Neighbor again, so I need to get all the information. So she said I was over there, and I knocked on that lady's door for like 20 minutes before she finally opened the door. And when she opened the door, I said to her, you cannot let this dog roam the streets like this. And she said she took the dog from me and then slammed the door in my face. Now, what you're not going to do is slam the door in Nosy Neighbor's face. Honey, I know you feel like that you just... well, minding your business, New Neighbor, but child, them's fighting words. Nosy Neighbor been here forever, ever. What you don't want to do is make Nosy Neighbor mad. She was born and raised in this town. Do you know how deeply entrenched she is in this town? She could run a complete background check on your behind, check every license plate that parks in front of your house. New Neighbor might have started a skosh of a feud because all the other neighbors are asking about her. Now listen, I don't really have a problem with New Neighbor, but I'm keeping an eye out. So listen, there will be more adventures with Not Spike. I went to the library to drop some books off from the kids, and I came back and I saw Not Spike just roaming around the street, and I was like, well, this is clearly my chance to rescue him because he is out here by himself. And then I saw his humans were there in the backyard, and I was like, oh, I can't really rescue him if people are watching. I need to, quietly rescue him. Now, am I going to keep these people's dog? No, not initially. What I'm going to do, he desperately needs to be groomed. So I'm going to help him. I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to brush him out real good. I have all the nail clipping and everything. I could clip his nails. I could comb his hair. I could trim the fur back from his eyes. And then I will turn him into like the local pound people or whatever. Maybe I will foster him because I know it's a 2-week waiting period. Oh, I'll vet him. I'll make sure he has all his shots and is well groomed because he is looking a hot ass mess. And all the other Yorkies on the block look gorgeous. Why should he not blend? These new neighbors, do they blend? Child, no. They don't talk to people. They cut down all the trees. They cut down all the bushes. Honey, previous neighbor would be rolling in her grave. She would have kittens if she saw what these people have done to the front of her house. But nobody's going to call and tell her because she's an older lady and she don't need that kind of heart failure. So New Neighbor said to me the other day, Nosy Neighbor said to me the other day, what's going on with that house? I see they have a dumpster. I said, girl, they are installing a new fence. And she was like, maybe that will keep the dog in. I said, I doubt it because they don't seem that invested in keeping the dog in the yard. So look, I'm keeping an eye peeled. I'll let you know what I find out, y'all. It's always going to be something. And I told New Neighbor that, listen, I saw New Neighbor in the yard earlier this week, and she said, we're putting in a new fence. I said, oh, that's nice. I think they're doing it themselves, child. What you don't want is a DIY fence. Just hire somebody, man. What are you doing? But okay, fine. She can put a new fence in if she wants to. I said, if you need to come to my side of the yard, then that's fine. Because listen, I have a very large backyard, and if I paid for a fence to be put in, it would cost me thousands of dollars. I don't have spare thousands roaming around. So she want to put in a new fence. That's good for her and it's good for me, and maybe get to keep that dog in. But in the meantime, when they, she could come on my property and install that new fence. And if Not Spike roams over here, I might help him out. But shh, you ain't heard none of this from me. I'll be back soon, and I'll let you know what's going on. All right, you have a good night.